All right. Well, welcome everybody to Sunday Night Flight School. It's an additional team call. And this is for people who want a little bit more and a little more hands-on, a little more focused, um, and a little more one-on-one, at least for now. I could see where our team will hopefully explode and there'll be more people on this. But just to give another option also for time zones, which is really important. Especially now we're expanding to Iceland. So we're adding an additional market, an additional country, which is really exciting because you can kind of see LifeVantage growing all over the globe, not just in the United States. And so be thinking always, not just who do I know in Iceland, but who do I know who knows people in Iceland, which is usually how it goes when you start expanding to different markets. It's really easy to think, wow, I don't know anybody in any other countries, but you will meet people who know people in other countries. So always keep that in mind. And so we're going to jump in. And first of all, just want to take anybody's questions. If you've had anything kind of burning in your heart or mind in your business, whether it has to do with products, the science, the back office, the business aspect, um, any incentives going on. Does anyone have any questions before we jump in and kind of build on what we were doing last week? No questions. All right. Last week we kind of looked at the people who were on, and it's some of the same people and some different people than we had last week, but we were looking at um, kind of who's in our queue, who are the people that we're forming relationships and talking to. And when you hear me focus and talk about this, um, I'm always going to be talking about who you're connecting to. I mean, the way to build this business is to connect with more people. If you're just only talking to one person or two people, even three people about LifeVantage, or even, expanding your network by one or two people, uh, it it's tough. It's tough to grow this business with one or two, and especially everyone has a different timeline. I had someone order, my last two people that have ordered are people that I've talked to for months. So if I was only talking to one or two people, that doesn't give me very much growth, week to week or month to month. One of the two people is someone who I've really, nurtured that relationship with for years. And now she's ordered and she's ready. So it's really important. One of my rules of thumb is to keep about 15 people in my queue. And that just means I'm connecting with them. I'm making sure to talk to them. And it does not just mean about LifeVantage. It means just, asking how they are, keeping up with their life, and, investing in your relationship with them. And when you do that with people, a few things are going to happen. One, when you are listening and asking about all the things that are going on in their life, they'll reciprocate and they'll ask about what's going on in your life. And I just encourage you to not hide this business. Don't hide and keep secret how passionate you are about this, the good things that you're doing or seeing and learning, because those are things that you would share about any job. And when people are mutually connected and investing in one another, you see that um, opportunity arise. And the other thing that happens is people are going to share their problems. So when you're investing in a relationship with people, most likely they're going to tell you their one of two complaints, either how they wish they had more money or how they wish they felt better or they wish a family member felt better. And they give us opportunity to share that we have a possible solution for them if they're open to take a look. And so back to kind of to circle back to our theme that we're building on is I try to always have about 15 different people that I'm either scheduling lunch with or just asking them how they are and want to catch up, or there's someone who I'm actively discussing the products with. And it all depends situationally on what is the nature of that relationship, where are we in our communication, And maybe the whole source of it is they've reached out to me to ask me about products. I count them. Maybe it's reconnecting with an old friend that I haven't talked to in a long time. I count them. Um, and kind of everyone in between. But what I did last week is I challenged everyone to write down the names of the people that they're currently in contact with, or nurturing relationship with and need to follow up with. And the reason I do that, and I've done that myself, is write down their names, is because just like when I was just telling Barb earlier, it's really normal when I start talking to people about, for instance, their diet. Everyone tells me that they eat predominantly healthy. I eat, for the most part, I eat 80, 90% healthy. And then when I tell them, start writing down what you eat, they're shocked. It's usually not how they presented. Or I'll say to someone, this one's really common too. When people talk to me a lot about their gut issues, I'll say, well, how much dairy do you have? Do you eat? Do you have a lot of dairy in your diet? Oh, no. Everyone says no, you guys. No, no, hardly any dairy. And they say the same thing about sugar. And then they write it down and it's like jaw dropping. So in the same way, sometimes we over or underestimate in our own lives to kind of, like it just seems, especially if we're talking to like five people and you haven't been, it can seem like so much. So it's so easy to say, oh, I have so many people in my queue. I'm talking to so many people. And then I say, well, let's start keeping track and writing them down. I want to see if it's 15. And the reason I picked that kind of sweet spot number of 15 is if you're only talking to like three or four or five people, then if you haven't heard back from any of them this week, it's really depressing. If one of them says they're not going to order, it just is devastating because it's all you got. It's, like that's all you've got going on. If you've got 15 people, if one isn't getting back to you, it's just not a big deal. You're busy reaching out to the others, and somebody out of that 15 is going to order, and it keeps you feeling like your glass is more full than empty. And so we dug into that a bit on like, let's write your names down. And I set a goal for Ron and Diane and Barb, all committed to have your names written down by, I don't know, we said Wednesday maybe. So how'd you do? How'd you do with those goals, Ron, Diane, and Barb? We'll start with Ron and Diane.
I gotta unmute here. Hang on. Uh, I was amazed when I started writing down. I came up with 48 names.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
He stole my names.
Well, and
Yeah, are some of them crossover? Are some of them on both of your lists?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that happens with us a lot. But I'm sure some of these names will be hers as well.
Well, right, 15 plus 15 is 30, and you got 48. So we'll
Yeah,
let you divide that in two.
and I've actually thought of some others. I haven't written them down. Shame on me. But I was shocked at the names that came up, and a lot of it was people that I need to be circling back to.
Yes.
You
Well,
know,
yes, if they're on your list, you need to be circling back to.
yeah,
It shouldn't be a question mark.
and I put a little. I did a little numbering system. How many times I had contacted them. I'd give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I've had people that very knowledgeable about what we're doing and just don't want any part of it. You know,
Sure.
I mean,
Get back some cold ones, huh?
Oh, hold on. I'm going to make sure everyone's muted because I'm getting some funky. We're getting we're getting some funky feedback. So hold on. We're gonna have everyone muted right now except for Ron and Diane. Okay, there we go.
so I've even made up, invented my own labeling system as to uh, potentially, in my mind, how interested I think they might be or they might become.
Okay.
Um, and that's not even counting customers that we should be encouraging and talking to, you know, and we don't have a lot of customers, but we do have enough that we need to periodically reach
Yeah,
out
we
to.
don't want to count your customers.
No, no, I'm not
Do
counting
you guys have a
customers.
fan on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't count your customers. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of there we go. That might help.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
blowing
so
right
you
at the
cut out a little
microphone.
bit. So yeah. So when you said that's not counting, then you cut out.
Okay.
Did you not say customers?
I
He
said,
did say.
I said not counting customers, and we should be reaching out to some of our customers as well, just to
Yeah,
stay.
that's different.
But that's different, yeah.
Yeah, that's different than this. That would be customer care. And so totally different.
Okay,
Yeah, but this in your queue of people to build your business, people who haven't ordered yet, um, people who you're possibly reconnecting with so that, they could at least get knowledgeable about LifeVantage sometime in the future. People
yeah,
haven't heard about it.
yeah.
Okay, so
And
good. And you're
we,
actively, so 48 is a lot. You're actively being able to reach out, have conversations, circle back with 48 people.
well, I'm trying. There's more people out there than I realized. And
Well, I don't want you to confuse it with your database. So your database would be a list of like all the people who eventually you'll get to. But where we want to like your queue that we're kind of talking about is there should be 15 people that you're actively seeking
there's,
out building relationship with. Is that your 48?
I'd have to look, but yeah, for the most part, for the
He
most,
talks a lot.
Nice. That's
I mean, yeah.
I know. That's
And,
phenomenal. That's
and we
phenomenal.
just
Good
met
job.
up with some old friends that we had forgotten about, like from 20 years ago. And we reconnected with a whole
Nice.
group of them. So,
Sweet. Yeah.
I
Awesome.
think I've only
What
got
about you,
like,
Diane?
I think I've got 8 in my queue, but
Okay.
I hate to say this. I counted them and then I'm like, okay, I got to write these down. And then I went off in another direction. I forgot to write them down. So,
Well, that's why we have these calls.
yes.
So, and you've had a lot on your plate. So
Well, just a
we'll
little
we'll
bit.
give you grace. Yeah. Yep. Give yourself grace
Yep,
and then so on your list would be to write them down, to make a written list
absolutely.
and see if it really is and build from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And I
great.
know that
Good
works because
job.
I started writing down my food and I'm like, I don't eat that much.
yeah.
And then I started writing it down. So yeah, it's the same thing.
Food. Oh man, you guys, food journals, time journals, and money journals are shocking. They're shocking. A lot of us are not as self-aware as we want to be. So making those journals are huge. Okay, let's flip over to Barbara. Barbara, are you able to unmute? I don't know if she's
Yes.
in a place where.
Um,
Oh, all right. How'd your list go,
how about
lady?
that? Yes. Um, I did not have as many people as I thought. And so I've been working at like going through my Facebook Messenger and my text on my phone and seeing, well, who have I been connecting a lot with? And I've actually just started building that and really looking into that. Um, Thinking about who do I need to circle back with and, um, because sometimes when you have 7 or 8 people, there was a couple people that I realized I hadn't responded to that were further down either in my text or in my messenger. So this last Sunday night was a good reminder for me to be working on that. But I didn't have as many people as I thought I did in my mind. I thought, well, I think I really have quite a few. And I think like potentially really only have like 12 at this point,
Hey,
that I
yeah,
would say are in my queue. But I know it could be more than that by just
yeah,
me putting in more effort, you
yeah.
know? And so I was actually just thinking about that as I'm hearing Ron and Diane talk and looking like, who can I add to that, you know? Somebody especially that I've had several connections with, you know. If
Yeah.
I've had at least 3, 4 ongoing kind of back and forth connections, then I feel like I can put them in the queue of someone that I'm nurturing a relationship with.
You know, you guys, I I want to simplify it for you too. You know, one of the things I told you guys is you know, if you go into your phone contacts and, pick a letter of the alphabet. Last week I think we gave the example of A, but you know, if I go into B's and I just look at people that I haven't talked to in a while, if I look for a name of someone that it would be completely acceptable for me to see their name and text them and say, "Oh my gosh, I just came across your name and it's been too long since we talked. I miss you. How are you? I'd love to catch up." And if you can send that text, put their name in the queue. So you don't have to wait till you've, met for lunch and talked in depth and found out their deep, dark secrets and then put their name in the queue. If I've just found someone like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't reached out to this person in so long. And sometimes looking in your contacts helps you to realize how many more people you know than you think, and you forget them. You forget all the people. And this is a relationship business. And so just igniting and reconnecting, that puts their name. Then if I put their name on my list that I've just sent them a text, more than likely they are going to text me right back or in a day or two and say, "Oh my gosh, Angie, you're right. It's been too long. I'd love to have coffee or go for a walk. What does your schedule look like?" And then we put something on the schedule and we start catching up, and then it builds from there. So you it doesn't have to be this big formal thing. It doesn't have to be that you get to the point that you send the ABC prime time. You know, this just means that you're starting a connection that you're willing to nurture, and or reconnecting with someone that you're willing to reestablish that connection and nurture that reestablishment of the connection. And in doing that, you guys, 15. Go for 15. So, Barb, you could have three. I know you could have three more by the end of this call. Because I know if I start talking to someone else, you're going to start going through your phone. And yeah, like I think you're measuring it too deep. You can add three just by igniting or reconnecting, um, and establishing starting one contact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. It kind of takes me back a little bit to the 1090, and I'm
Exactly.
so forever grateful that that changed everything for me. Like
Yeah.
when I made myself do that, and I didn't do it 100% of the time, but it just opened up a whole new, like, oh my gosh, I can do so much more than I think I can. And when you were saying that, I thought, oh, there's a couple people that I have been talking to, we've been trying to get together that I didn't even think about adding. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
that
have
makes sense.
you probably have three more then, just
And it
by
just makes me consciously aware when I see their name on that to,
yes.
you know, what I'm doing in that. So thank
That's
you
the
for that.
power. That really is the power of writing it down. So the difference, you guys, when we talk about writing
Yeah.
down and having 15 people, if you go through that exercise and you go through the ends in your contacts in your phone and you find two different people that you text, and then if you don't write their names down on a list, then you're going to forget that you reached out to them. And if they don't respond right away, or you get busy, they get busy, then all of a sudden you don't realize that you're even talking to them. And it can feel like day to day, you can have days where someone says, like it actually gets to a LifeVantage conversation and they say, "Oh no, I'm not interested." And then it can feel so devastating, like there's just no one else in your life. This is what we do. Well, oh my gosh, it's not like I have anybody else that I'm talking to. Well, that's why you need the list. So you can look at the list because we forget so quick. It's just our memories are so short and we get very lack focus when we experience rejection. And we kind of snowball into a negative place, so many of us, and insecurities creep in. So when you've got that list, it's so encouraging to look over and say, okay, yeah, you know what? Right now they're saying they don't want to order. Angie says that they may order in a year or two because trust me, everyone comes back around. But if you look at that list and you realize, oh, I'm still talking to 14 other people, then again, the provision mindset the list helps you with more with a provision mindset than a lack mentality. And the lack mentality is going to get you in this business. You can't focus on the lack. We've got to look at the provision. So, for those of you, there's several of you that weren't on the call last week where we were talking about this. And we were talking about having 15 people in your queue and just saying, and we started out by saying, like, how many people are you talking to? How many people are in your queue? Do you have 15 people in your queue? And people going, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm sure. I have a lot. And I'm like, well, write them down and see. See if it's actually what you think it is. And so, is there anybody else who wasn't on the call last week that's willing to share? Do you write it down? I did coach one person last week who wasn't on this call, and I challenged her, and she's like, I have a list in my notes. And she did it. She wrote them down. It's just kind of her way. Is there anyone else that's like that? You have a running list of names of people who are in your queue?
I do.
Yeah.
I always have a running list and I kind of go a little bit extensive. And I know a couple, like there's one more member of my team that does the same thing. And
Okay.
not only do we have a list of the people we're talking to, but we also have like a list of the reasons why. Like if we invite them to a class, if we got that far, why did they say no? And did they give us a date that they were like, hey, Tuesdays don't work for me? And so we always follow back up and we always know the reasons why. So even if they say, no, I'm not interested, I always follow back with, oh, so how is your dad's cancer going? I know you said you like, how is, and just to start conversation. And more times than not, it's only within a couple of months at least. Some are a month, some are a year, but the closing rate is much higher for sales for us by having the
Wow.
list of why.
I love that. It makes me want to create a spreadsheet. I think I'm going to. I'm going to create a spreadsheet, you guys, and
Bryce
put it
has
up.
one. He does it like that.
Do you have a template that you could share, Bryce?
He's not with me right now, but I can
Oh,
ask him.
yeah, because I think it's silly to recreate the wheel. If it's been created and he has a good template that he could just share, like, and we can put on Google Drive or Google Docs, and then just share it with the team. That would be great because I think that's actually brilliant is to add more detail of maybe like the detail of how many times you've reached out, why and what days they can meet or can't meet, and all the information that you mentioned. That's brilliant. I love that so much. And are you keeping about 15 people in your queue, Hannah, or do you have more? What are you finding?
I feel like I'm always talking to. I don't actually have like I don't have my list in front of me. I'm putting my kids to bed right now. But I would say I do have like 15 people.
Okay.
But actively, some will say, "Oh, I'm not interested,"
Yeah.
but they always follow back.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And if someone says they're not interested, I don't cross them off. The only time I cross a name off my list is once they've ordered, because then they go in my customer care list. So that's the only time. If someone says they're not interested, I'm going to keep nurturing that relationship because we see that shift so often. Because when you're nurturing a relationship, I remember one time I got a customer who's been with me probably a year and a half now of ordering and never really interested, but we just kept nurturing the relationship. And one day, there were two different things that happened. One day, we were having coffee, and someone had asked me what I do. And when I told them, they said, what is that? And she was listening to me explain it. And the way that I present what I do, she's like, oh my gosh, I guess it sounds like I need that. And then another time, when someone, if I'm nurturing a relationship with someone, and I just had a client have, like, I recently had a client who keeps scoring, he had dementia, and he keeps scoring better and better and better on his cognitive test. He got his driving privileges back. He was a pastor and he's preaching again, and so when she asked me how I was flying high because I had just gotten that testimony. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so good. I have a client who this, and this." And so then, and that's not me trying to sell her. It's just me saying why I'm doing so good. And in a friendship, you do that. And so that's why nurturing a relationship is so important. Even if someone's not interested, I'm still not going to hide what I do or why I'm happy. And sometimes that's about my business. Just like some of the reasons we're sad is about work. And I hear people, my friends who are teachers are always telling me the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're no different. So don't take anybody off the list if they say not yet, and continue to add to the list and visit your list. It's not going to do you any good to have a list if you don't visit your list. Have your list where you can see it. Where do you keep your list, Hannah?
Oh, I keep it like a physical copy,
And is it
like in
like,
a note.
oh, in a note in your phone?
No, like in a notebook.
Okay. And is it a notebook that you regularly look at? Is it near your computer?
Yeah, I have it with all my other like computer and like customer care calendar.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Because it doesn't do good to make a list and tuck it away and not see it again for 8 months. In that case, then you don't make a list. Make a list that's visible. And I've shared, if you've been in my home, I have a wall that's a chalkboard, and my list has been on my chalkboard a lot. It's not right now because I still have the stuff from virtual, all of your names, everybody signed it, but I quite often have my queue of names. And I just like mark when I have communication with them. I'll just put a little marker, a little tally, like I'll do tally markers. Um, Anybody else have a running
I
list?
often, I have one more thing.
Oh,
I
keep going.
often will use sticky notes and I put them all over my bathroom mirror. So if you were to go into like my bathroom,
Nice.
there's just sticky notes because
Yeah.
I'm often in there getting
Yep.
ready every morning, and so I just see like a list. I'm like, oh, I haven't reached out to that person in a couple days, and then I reach out to them.
Right. That's so good. Sticky notes are phenomenal wherever you're going to see them. And one thing I told people last week too is dry erase markers work great on a mirror. So grab your dry erase markers, and if you need to write on your bathroom mirror your list of names so that you'll remember, do it. And or on a sliding glass door or a window, wherever you camp out. I even have, I don't know if any of you use this. I'll show you on tomorrow night's team call, but I just have the size of a notebook piece of paper, whiteboard. You can get a little whiteboard with a dry erase marker, and on the flip side is the eraser. And so I can make notes on my little dry erase board that just sits like a piece of paper next to my computer. And that's really handy too. Um, Anybody else have a running list and it's working well for them? Are you unmuting, Tam? Sometimes, like when you lean, I'm like, is she trying to unmute? Okay, there we go.
Yes. You know my body
I can,
language.
I can read your body language. And like she's coming at us.
Um, yeah. So I have had a list. I've had this nice little booklet that I used when we did the
Nice.
1090, and it definitely does work. It works. I need to work on it. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been slacking. Oh, there's so much going on right now in my world. So I need to buckle down and get back to my list because they do work. And I do old school, like you're gonna laugh. I have index cards
I love it.
and I have my calendar that I write people's names in my calendar. But then I have all these things because I feel like I'm gonna lose track of everything. So I probably make more hard work for me than I need to because I'm constantly putting them in all the areas so that if I don't have it with me, I always have it with me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, I do.
Because a lot of times I'll find that I've done something and then I'm like, oh, I got to write that down. And now where do I write it? Because I don't have it with me. So that's
Right.
been my struggle
Right.
because I don't always have my little calendar, and that's usually where I write things. Like I'll look at the week ahead and say, okay, I'm going to talk to Sarah here. I'm going to talk to Dawn here, and then
Yep.
try to follow it. But if I don't have my
Yeah.
calendar on me,
Mm.
then
Yes.
that's where I miss it. So I got to
Yeah.
buckle down this week and get
Yeah.
organized and get going again.
That's good. I mean, it's a wonderful thing and a challenging thing about this business is you can step back at any time. You are your own boss. It's one of the advantages of having a team. And I know we're working there, trying to get you a team, when you are building consultants' businesses underneath you and building their legs, when you step back, they're working more than likely. Someone in that organization is working when you step back. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of business building. It's great to have a good customer base too, but man, there is a sweet spot of stepping back when you have a team that keeps working. So that's the goal is to be looking for people who can catch the business vision too, so that when you step back, it doesn't feel like, uh-oh, what happened to my business? It's all on me. And when you have a team, it's not all on you. So does the list seem really daunting or challenging to anybody? Because we can help you work through it. Good. Yeah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be challenging. It's as simple as you really, especially when you first start, just reconnecting with people that you haven't seen in a long time. And then being really intentional about meeting new people. And you'll be surprised when we did that 1090 challenge. That's where the people in this group who've done the 1090 challenge, I think will all confirm and validate this is you don't realize how many new people you have the opportunity to meet until you're really focused on it. Whether you're meeting someone, you're just at a coffee shop or you're at a wedding reception or, at an exercise class, you have opportunities to start conversations. And when we're not intentional about it, we can hide from it. You can go about life day in and day out and day in and day out with your tunnel vision on or just looking at your phone and not forming new connections. But if you just realize every single person you see out there needs activation, it starts really, really drawing you into being a little more outgoing, taking a little more social risks, and just starting conversations and meeting people that you may not have ever connected with otherwise. And some of them turn out to be really incredible gifts to our life, relationally as well.
Yes,
Um,
I have personally loved connecting with people that I haven't seen since high school. It's really crazy how they're coming out of the cracks. And one of them in particular, I had no idea that she had an ileostomy in high school. I had no idea. Like she's had issues since high school. And I found out we had connected because I don't know, I think it was a Facebook post, but she connected with me first. And I said, oh my gosh, how are you feeling? Like I had just heard she had surgery. And so I made her some meals and I went over to her and I met her husband. And I literally haven't seen her since high school, since we graduated. And she told me about her story. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to help you get through this because she was really hurting. She had just had surgery. So that was a few weeks ago. Well, she just reached out to me the other day and said, hey, you want to go for a walk with me? Like, because she saw that I was walking. And so she reached out and she goes, hey, we should walk together. And she goes, and I think I want to talk to you about what you're doing because I am miserable. So, and it's like, oh, honey, I would love to help you because she's so miserable and she's such a sweet person and so giving. But it's crazy how, and then it makes me feel so good,
yeah.
it's just,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's just like, and if I would have said to you, Tammy, Write down a database, a list of all the people that you know that you'd want to connect to. You probably would never have thought of her, would you have?
No,
No. Yeah.
no, she came out of the woodwork from nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where you guys, we have to be open to that. You know, social media, was it a social media connection? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, the power of social media. I am telling you. It
And
just,
I'm finding that it's happening on my regular page more than anything. Like
yes.
I have these personal pages that I do, but then when I hop onto my regular page that
Yeah.
I don't like to put a lot of business stuff on. I like to try to keep it more private,
Yeah.
personal.
Yep.
But every now and then I'll throw something in there and then I have all these people that will respond. I'm kind of tied in between. I don't know what to do because I don't really want to put that page into a business kind of a thing completely.
No.
And I know we don't want to do that anyway.
Right.
Um, but I am finding that when I do put things in there, I get a lot of
Yeah.
people messaging me.
Yeah. But
So
you know
it
why?
does work.
You know why that is though? It's because you build it personally. And if you
Right.
are, and that's a testimony right there to every, it's our rule of thumb is in your personal page, your personal page cannot be a LifeVantage catalog. People want to connect with you. Your friends want you. And yes, part of your life is LifeVantage. So you don't have to hide it. Like Tammy said, you can sprinkle it here or there. But your personal page, you've got to be posting about your dog that you love and the hiking that you just did and the cake that you just made that flopped in the oven and how much you love your friend and how much you're grateful for I don't know, the sunrise, the different parts of you that make people know you, like you, trust you. If you're not giving people on social media a reason to know you, like you, trust you, then when you sprinkle something about LifeVantage, they're not going to listen. So what Tammy's doing is she's investing in her personal page and she's so likable. I mean, she's adorable. She's sharing all of these things about her. She's hilarious. She shares her day, she shares her heart. You can feel her personality in her posts. And then when she posts like her testimony and the pain relief that she's gotten from LifeVantage, people know that she's so sincere. People know about her. They know she's a mom and a wife and a friend and a nurse, and they trust her. And so that's why those posts are really powerful. In your personal page, invest in letting yourself be seen to the degree that's safe for you. Don't overexpose and don't be highly negative. You know, like there's, you have to be really selective about how often you post a frustrated post. And you can be real. I will post when I was just sharing as we started this call. One of my triggers in life is dealing with medical supply. And when I have to deal with them and they flip my world up on end, I will post something like, I would rather eat yellow snow than be on the call one more minute since I've been on hold for an hour and a half. And, I'll post something like that. But the rest of my posts are more positive. And if all I did was bash medical supply or bash politically or bash, you know, all the other things, then people are also going to tune me out. And it's going to be hard to trust me for anything positive, if that makes sense. So you just have to be aware because your personal page, as much as it is you, you're presenting your brand. Your brand is you. So be aware of that. And then last week, we also talked about proactive health and wellness as your business page. And the reason proactive health and wellness works for me, and it works for me, it is my funnel. I invite at least 2 dozen people a time. Every time I go on to my inviting, like when we were on this call last week with the few people that were on, I asked how they were inviting, and they said, well, if I'm talking to someone, I'll invite them on and I'll tell them I'll invite them on. So that's one. That's one person. Or they'll say, like someone became my customer, so I invited them on. Okay, now we have 2 people. I will go to Proactive Health and Wellness. So I'm just going to show you what I do, and it's no big deal for me to do it again. I do it so often. If someone gets an invite, half the people don't even see their invites, or their notification. So it's not like I'm bugging people. A lot of people don't even accept. And if I invite 2 dozen people, maybe I will have 3 or 4 accept. And I realize I can repeat my invite because a lot of the people that I invited didn't even see it. So I'm super intentional. And this is how I've gotten key members of my team as well. One of my top consultants, I invited on proactive health and wellness, and she sat on here 6 months. I didn't even know she was on here. And then she's the one, it's my friend Kiana. And she went off 17 meds and doesn't have a lupus diagnosis anymore. And her story is one of the most dramatic. And it's just simply because I invited her to be in front of all this information. So I go to Proactive Health and Wellness, I click invite my Facebook friends, and then I have a lot of friends. There's a lot of people I'm not going to invite. I'm not going to invite a ton of LifeVantage people from other teams. I have a lot of people that I'm connected to in the company that are not part of my team. And so, and there's just people that I'll see their name and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm not going to invite them. But you know what? I'm going to invite this person. I'll see people and just seeing their name makes me realize, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're not on my page. They should be on my page. So easy to do. Sometimes I see the name of a customer that's not on my page. And if you can see what I'm doing right now, I just invited like with in the matter of like 20 seconds, I just clicked on like 4 different people. There's a 5th person that I'm seeing. Oh my gosh, I got to make sure Barb, I don't think she's ever come up. I don't think I've ever invited her. She should be on my page. And see how quick it is to get, like, you don't have to overthink it. You're not adding them to your page. So it's not like against their will, they're all of a sudden in your page. All this does is send them an invitation. They can choose whether they want to ignore it, whether they want to accept it, and they may not even look at the notification. But very easily, I just got 1 dozen people just while I'm talking to you. I'm not even that focused on it, but I see these people and I'm like, oh my word, I can't believe they're not in my group. This is ridiculous. And you don't know, you guys, out of all these people that we're inviting, who will look and see a post on the exact thing on heart disease. And maybe they just had a family member that has gone through, a heart surgery or doesn't want to be on their heart meds. And the list goes on and on and on. So easily 18 people while I'm talking to you. You can tell I didn't even give it much focus. I've got like 1,800 people on my Facebook page. And so I maybe just out of, maybe I scrolled 3 dozen, I just clicked 18. I'm sending invites. And that's how I fill my page because I can't wait and just put 1 or 2 people in this group. And if I only refer to my 15 people in the queue as people I'm inviting to that group, I feel like it's kind of even selfish of me because I'm limiting people from getting in front of the information based on how much time I have to personally connect with them when I have this amazing, powerful Facebook tool and this huge database in proactive health and wellness that they could get in front of, and some of them very technologically savvy to look on their own. And so I challenged Ron, Diane, and Barb last week to do that. How did you guys do with inviting larger, at least 2 dozen people? I think that was the number I challenged you to invite 2 dozen people. Were you able to check that off? Diane, yes? Good. Barb, did you get 2 dozen people in or
Ye-
invites?
Yeah, I was really shocked. I went through and counted. I had invited so many, and like 12 people accepted the invite, which I don't think that normally happens. I was like,
No, it
what?
doesn't normally happen.
When you posted the welcome, I had to go look and see who all that did I invite and who all accepted. And I was like, wow.
When I go through every couple weeks and I'll invite a couple dozen people at least. And on the welcome, when the welcome post comes out, that's how I can tell who accepted. I'll look at the welcome post and I'm like, who, what names do I recognize? And then I'm always surprised. I'm like, oh, so and so accepted. And it tickles me. And then if I know they accepted, I go and I comment on specific posts that I want to go to the top of the feed for them to see. So I don't know if you guys know that that's a trick.
Oh,
That's a
I
trick
need to do
too.
that next.
Yeah.
Yep, I should do that.
So you can always tag them, but if you want them to remain incognito, which I kind of want people to know, like just because I invited you to the group doesn't mean I'm going to call you out or highlight you or anything like that. You can be a fly on the wall, but if I want to make sure you see it, I tag my husband or I tag Barb in a post and then it'll go to the top. And Barb knows. Barb knows if I tag her like a ton that I'm just trying to get a specific post to the top of the feed. And you guys can do that with my name anytime. It like Tammy, if you know that you just got someone in the group, yes, way to go, Tam. Have you ever done that before? Good, good. I love it. Tammy said she just invited 12. So now, if you just invited someone or you see that someone gets in the group and you know, for instance, that they're struggling with lupus or their sister has lupus or something, and you can search some really good lupus posts. And if you don't want to call them out, just tag me. You just say, just put Angie Huntley. This is the one I wanted to share with you. And then I'll know, oh, she just wants that at the top of the feed. And it's a great way so that when someone comes into the group, if the first, if the top posts are, like increasing glutathione, ABC prime time, 31 peer-reviewed studies, I'm like, okay, somebody needed their person to see the science or the antioxidant production of NRF2. And that's what the group is for. We can bring anything to the top, you guys, just by commenting on it. Make sense? Awesome. Okay. How many people feel like they can commit? This is what the flight school is for. I'm challenging you guys. So, how many people are willing to commit to invite 24 people by next week to Proactive Health and Wellness? Sweet. Way to go, Hannah and Bryce. They said already done. Yay, Heidi. Good job. Nice. Good job, you guys. All right. We will ask. Yay. Way to go, Barb. Yes. I love that. This is a good group for this, so we can come back and, talk to each other about it. And if it feels too hard, this is a safe place to say, that feels too hard. I remember if Ron and Diane, if you don't mind if I share, can I share what your heart was about 1090? Is that okay? Okay. When we did, for those of you who don't know, when we say 1090 is a pretty extreme challenge that we did. And we challenged people to connect with and start 10 new conversations. Didn't have to be about LifeVantage, but it was just igniting new conversations with new people or reconnecting with people that you hadn't talked to in a long time per day for 90 days. 10 people a day, every day, 90 days. That's a lot. It was a steep challenge. And Ron and Diane said, you know what, right now we cannot commit to that, but we want to be on the page. So we created a Facebook page for it. We invited everyone who committed to do it on the page, and Ron and Diane wanted to be on the page, but they could not commit to the 10. And just being on the page and realizing what their limitations were, I think it still pushed you to do more than you would have. Yeah, yeah. And they would comment about that like, "Okay, okay." And so yes, absolutely. It's all right if you don't feel ready. And like Margaret, absolutely. It's all right if you're not ready to invite yet. It's not a big deal. It's like you're building and it's okay for you to kind of test the waters and see and even explore proactive health and wellness. You're brand new. It's some of us have been around proactive health and wellness for years and months or close to a year. And when you're brand new, it's like, man, I need to know what I'm inviting people to before I invite people to it. So I totally respect that. Absolutely. But what you guys, it is, all right, Michael, yes. Okay, you can do it, man. You can do it. Um, and if I'll expand a little more on proactive health and wellness as well, because what proactive health and wellness is, because of the gift of social media, this is just one of the gifts of social media. Like for instance, PubMed.gov is a government-funded medical reference in the United States. So any published, peer-reviewed studies and medical journal articles are on that database. Well, most people aren't going to go to PubMed.gov. We have studies on PubMed.gov. So where can we put those where people have access? Proactive health and wellness on social media, like we could on that social media page. We have so many physicians that are attracted to LifeVantage and activation and specialists in their field, whether, we have a great physician that's a surgical pathologist. We have another great physician who's a neuroradiologist. We have chiropractors and internal medicine physicians, and the list goes on, obesity specialists. And when they dip into activation, they all want to teach on it because they're brilliant. They're brilliant scientists and learning the stories of activation. They want to share their knowledge of science and how it's applied in their field to what we have. And so we've got Zoom recordings of them. Where can we store that where people can get access of, man, I'd love to hear what a doctor says about this? Well, proactive health and wellness. Where can we put testimonies from people like you and me who've had experience with chronic pain and getting off pain meds and heart disease turnaround, autoimmune disease turnaround, immune health turnaround, hormone health turnaround, just all kinds of different testimonies of, from anything from lowering inflammation to getting rid of migraines and IBS to losing weight. Where can people share those testimonies where people can see them, real people, proactive health and wellness? And so we were able to just create this great database. And because it's a private group, um, we are free. We don't have to be compliant. Basically, I can just say it like that. It's a private group. We do not have to be compliant. It's not a public billboard. It's a private conversation being a private group. So you'll hear people be able to mention the brand, be able to say, I took Trisynergizer and collagen and I no longer have a lupus diagnosis. Whereas on a public feed, compliance won't let us say that. We can say, I utilized nutrigenomics and I no longer have a lupus diagnosis, but we wouldn't be able to say the brand and we'd have to take it to a side conversation. So proactive health and wellness gives us some freedom. And I know, like if we're looking at the economy in New Zealand, I completely get it. And I know that the economy isn't awesome in New Zealand, and Margaret's in New Zealand. Um, but I do know that this business has been built well through really, really bad economies. And I can say that in the sense that there will be people whose most important spend, the thing that they won't cut out, they'll cut out other things, and I'm one of those people. I will cut out many other things, not health things. Like as I'm stripping down, spending. And also people need a really good business that reaches outside of your market too. So it may even be a great time to share the business with people, because our business now appeals to people who not only are dealing with people in their own economy, but also others in other markets. Meaning, like, if you know someone who lives in the UK, if you know someone who lives, people in New Zealand can sell to people in the United States and people in Australia and people in Thailand and Iceland now and Germany and so on and so on and so on. So, oh, the timing of the meeting. So, well, girl, I will say it again. Tammy and I will do a meeting for you anytime. I don't care if I'm up at 2 a.m. to have it at the time when your people need it. That would be such a win for me. I would love that. I would love to have a booming opportunity in New Zealand to where I have to wake up in the middle of the night and do a class. So you just tell us when. We don't care about the time change, do we, Tammy? No. Yes. So if you have a need, Margaret, don't you hesitate. The timing is not a limitation. All right. Anybody, as we're wrapping up in time, now we've looked at that challenge of inviting and keeping your list going, and we've challenged people to step up. Does it feel uncomfortable to invite that many people, or does it seem easy, like, oh, I should have been doing that? It feels okay?
It
It feels
bit
okay?
feels a bit uncomfortable, but yeah, I should have been doing that all along.
I love that. It's easy though.
Do
You
you
know,
know, like we all get invites to things. I don't know about you guys, but I get these invites to all kinds of different things.
right,
I can do it or not do it. I
right,
don't feel like that person's like, hey, they're being pressure
right,
or, or doing pressure. I feel
right.
like, okay, they just want me to come and check it out. So I'll check it out and
Yeah.
I'll accept or not.
And what makes you, so here's the clincher. I'm going to see if Tammy's answer is the same as my answer. When you get invites to join someone's group, which ones do you ignore and which ones are you willing to click on? What makes the difference for you?
Well, that's a loaded question. Sometimes I'll just click on it and see what it is.
Yum.
So,
Yeah.
and if it's something that, boy, you get into these groups that I'm just not into,
Right.
then I just pass it along. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll share what it is for me. If I like them, if I know them, like them, and
Oh,
trust them.
absolutely.
Yeah. If it's someone far off or I think they're a little kooky and I don't really like their feed and I almost wish I hadn't followed them ever or want to unfollow them, I'm not clicking on their invite. So if someone's a good person and I'm connecting with them, if I'm commenting on their stuff and they're commenting on my stuff and they send me an invite, if I get an invite from Tammy, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's Tammy. I gotta check that out. I want to be in that group just to support Tammy. No, it doesn't even matter what it is because I like her so much, right? And so if you can be that person that is known, liked, and trusted, then your invite goes further. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Any questions as we wrap up, guys? Oh, Hannah, such a great comment. Right, exactly. Exactly about the invite. Any questions before we wrap up, guys? All right. We'll probably next week we'll touch on the 15 in the queue. We won't spend as much time on it. And we'll touch on to just hold accountable the invites on proactive health and wellness. And we'll move on. We'll move on and we'll kind of train on other things too. But I think this is important to build on because those are two really foundational things. The being diligent to regularly invite to proactive health and wellness, it's such an effective funnel that can build your business. And not that there's much passive, but if there was any part of anything being passive in my business, it's that. I have had people that I invited to Proactive Health and Wellness. I didn't even realize they accepted. Reach out to me and say, okay, how do I order? And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did you come from? I didn't even know that I invited them months ago because I went through as fast as I just did and that you guys saw me do. And then the flip of that is the 15 in the queue. 15 people just nurturing the relationships with is priceless. And yes, Ron is a great example. It should be more even if you can get more than 15, but don't be under 15 because you'll get yourself really, really discouraged at just the time it takes, for people to get back to you and such. Foundationally, face to face, 15 regular follow-ups and people that you're connecting with. And social media investment, like Tammy said, being getting people to know you, like you, and trust you in your personal feed, and regularly invite to proactive. Okay, if there's no questions, we'll wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for taking the time. I hope there was something for you, even if it was just a little nugget to help you through your week. We have a few things this week. So, of course, tomorrow night we have our larger Team Prosper call, which is Eastern Standard Time, Monday evening, 8 p.m. And then we also have, I'm doing an opportunity call on Thursday, the 31st, which is, Cal, I think it might be at 8, but that's for people. I put it in Team Prosper. I'll make sure everybody has it. If you have anybody interested in the business, I'll be presenting the business. It'll be a half hour tops and just kind of sprinkling on people the information they need to know on why LifeVantage, why now. And then Wednesday night, if you're in Southwest Michigan or the greater Southwest Michigan area, at Mary's house at 6:30 p.m., we're going to be doing a nutrigenomics and pet health presentation. So reach out if you have any questions on that. And you guys have an awesome, awesome week, wrapping up the month. Thanks for joining us. Good night. Happy day. Have a great day in New Zealand. Margaret, it was great to see you.
Thank you. Have a
You
good